Good evening, Patriots, and welcome to the Q Lounge Live. I am your host, Shady Groove, and tonight we are on a special edition of the program. We have had a very, very busy day from Q. How's everybody doing out there tonight? We have intheMatrixxx joining us here. I hope you saw at the top of the show there, that was the new drop from Q confirming Payseur is exactly what we thought. Hey,
Wow,
Matrix, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm right here, man. How you doing?
Hey, bud, how's it going?
Yeah, wow. Just if you recall the last show where we're saying that P is for Payseur is just a theory until Q confirms it.
Yep, and I mean, this was that's a very huge confirmation right there today. I mean, we actually have specific confirmation from Q. Here's the actual drop, and this was a post from one of our great patriots in the Patriots United Discord. Shout out to Beluca on Twitter.
Luca.
Right here, guys. This is who Q confirmed P was Payseur through. And he's out there somewhere lurking. Show him your wrench, Luca.
Nice. Yeah, man, I tell you, this is a big honor. Because I was actually starting to feel like, oh boy, maybe we shouldn't be talking about it anymore. Are we overdoing it? Are we false decoding? The Chans have been, less than gracious about this. In fact, board volunteers are all over it and all over me saying, no, it's Pope, stop my P stuff, calling me a fame fag and, all that stuff. But look, I am a researcher. I research. I was chased off by some of these people, bakers, shills. Obviously, we know some of them are, shills, actual shills. But I'm just so honored and so happy. I fell off my chair today. I came home a little, from an event, came home, looked up, doing my Q post thing. There's about 80 posts in this thread because I think Q is at 36, 4 more for the record,
Yeah, what a
So,
busy day,
yeah,
right?
what crazy. And I saw P, and I just was like, no way, no way, no way. I mean, just blown away.
Yeah, they right here, guys. This is where we had the response. Hey Q, does P equal Payseur? When do we start seeing the pain? Where we go when we go all MAGA? And that post reposted by Q right straight to the board. And understand that maybe for people out there that might not be a lot familiar with Q, the the original post said that P will be saved for last. So we're in a position here now where we really do feel like we're being moved to our final positions against the front lines of the narrative and the front lines of the cabal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this was P saved the best for last. Um, and if we're getting down to that timeline, and and they're allowed to divulge this information. I was thinking we were gonna have to wait for a long time for confirmation, but you know, today was the day.
Well, we had a couple of posts that came out through through the summer. One was saying the tactics, shift in tactics, and another one said move up, the move up of the timeline, and then the timeline shift post just the other day. So in real time we're seeing this shift, and I feel like there was time left in case this didn't go as planned, and we're coming in under budget and ahead of schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. And the timelines have changed. We've seen a couple of times. They've sped up, they've slowed down. Today was just a Q day. I mean, I just it's hard to keep up. My head is still spinning with all of his posts, all the posts that they've done.
Yeah, we were here on Sunday night, and there has been probably what did we just count, 50 posts since Sunday?
Yeah, yeah.
So, like right here, I want to maybe just share. I want to share these other couple posts that are right around the one that's confirmation of Payseur. This was right previous to that. The an anon posted, "Stay the course, trust the plan, boss. It sure was lonely before you came along. Thank you guys for taking these risks and concocting the plan. We are in this together, and we are all right here for this purpose. Love you guys." And Q responds to him, "No one person is above another. And why does the fake news media put so much time and energy and effort into attacking a so-called conspiracy? Those who are attacked the most are the biggest threat, and logic wins every single time." Q. That is, it just really goes right to the heart of, what you've been saying and what I've been saying, and the importance that, that we've kind of got into this place of sort of putting the media, they're like, oh, they're just over here, but no one really gives the credit to understand what a fourth estate means and how valuable they are and how hard they can hurt us, by this disinformation campaign that they've been running for, however many years. But since Trump got his nomination, it has just been nothing short of an outright disinformation campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. You hear him say, no one person is above the other. That's why we did the Q Army. In fact, Q told us to build an army. Also, over there on the Chans, they told us to build an army, and we did. And it's the Q Army. We're all privates in this army, man. There's not one of us that's above the other. Where we go one, we go all. And logic does win every single time, because when we start thinking logically, which, if logical thinking has been displaced or replaced with, other means of thinking, like you can't think logically. If it sounds like a duck, quacks like a duck, you can't be, prejudiced against a duck, so that's not accepted, but that's logical, right? So we just have to just keep going, keep learning, understand that these people tell us what we need to know. We have officials. They're elected officials. They're not officials. They are public servants, and that's what they're going to be again, when we make when we take make America wealthy again, when we take our country back.
This is coming, and for other people out there, just to know the news today. Bruce Orr did testify today, and there was I think Isa and a couple of others came out saying we've got large gap between testimony of these people. So Q on just the other day before all this stuff came out, I'm going to scroll down here real quick, Matrix, and catch the bottom of these to show maybe some people a little bit about how we get our news. The guys out there, your uni rock and your anti-school, and the people that have built a following around Q, and then to drop and to move into this adversarial role, aren't paying attention and not really understanding. We're getting the news 3 to 5 days ahead of time, and we're getting complete confirmation as they roll right into the next way to spin this as a conspiracy.
Yeah, I think they've been had. Somebody played with them, Isaac or Anti-School. I had a lot of respect for him. He got an email from a buddy with, Q name, Q trip code at gmail.com, and he freaked out, or he got, silenced by somebody or they fell for some disinfo, in my opinion, and they stuck with it. It doesn't matter what Q is, who Q is. The fact of the matter is that we're learning, and we are digging on our own. We are learning for ourselves, as one of the Q post points out. So we really need to just keep digging. We need to, if somebody brings up that a theory, I know the Anna, we got to have thick skin, but sometimes, we need to dig in it together, man, because we're a hive mind. We work together as Anons. And if somebody has a theory, I don't, tell them to go, whatever, KYS and all that stuff. I get that if it's crazy, crazy. But when it's something that could be, I always take somebody's input. There's always something to look at with what somebody brings to the table, and then you dig on it. And if you come to a dead end, you just stop the dig. And we didn't stop the dig because there were so many coincidences with this particular one.
No, man. I mean, once we were on this and realized that they had this book posted to the CIA website, I felt me and you both had the deep just intuition that this is being redirected to bring up to our forefront for us to focus on. And then whenever we got into it and the whole to see this complexity And just to throw it out there too, the insignia gate drop that has just come out is connecting back into all of this. So we're finding a lot of connections to that, where it's giving us FBI documents and bank records from all around the world where they were turning the money into other currencies and then storing the money in banks all around the world. If you're the centralized banking structure that is in control of every single bank on planet Earth, then you can pretty much put the money wherever you want to, and your puppet that's running the bank will do as they are told.
That's very well said. I mean, these Q posts today. Go ahead and grab a couple more. I mean, look at define dark money. On that post 1934, I looked at that. I'm like, what's dark money? Where does the money come from? It's money that's hidden. So I was still looking at all of these, and look at the Think Flynn exactly 30. I believe that's referring to the McCain, right? Exactly 30 days ago. Didn't you say McCain will be back in the news or something to that effect, right?
Yeah, it was 30 days to the day where he said he would be back in the news.
So these are the kind of coincidences that you cannot tell me that this Q team, what or whoever Q is not on target, guys. There's just way too many coincidences. I took statistics, I took math. When does it become mathematically impossible? At what point? And at what point do I need to stop hearing from the shills and the Pasobics and Machette logs and all that stuff? We already went through that months ago with the Unirock stuff, like you were talking about earlier. It doesn't matter. This is we're witnessing history, man. We are a part of history, all of us, everybody here right now, everybody on Twitter. We are changing the narrative. We are making people see things. If it's not now, people put it in people's heads, man, because we don't need to be silent anymore. I think we need to start standing up for ourselves. When people are on the I'm in Florida right now, so I voted today. People are on the corner. I rolled down my window and proudly shouted MAGA.
Good. And right here it's I mean that's perfect right on top of it, because here in a response to the Q post I was just showing on 1934, think for yourself, research for yourself, and trust yourself. Clickbait opinions are designed to attract readers to subscribe and or follow and or shape a pre-designed narrative. Follow the facts, sheep no more. And that's exactly what Matrix was just talking about, guys. We are all, you're kind of put through the education meat grinder, and sort of like, oh well, now you have all the facts, you're all good. Don't go back looking at the facts again. And the thing that separates a lot of the people in this movement and a lot of the people that are understanding of what's going on with Q is that you do this. You think for yourself, you research for yourself, and you trust yourself. So it's like having a conversation with someone on your friends or whatever that says, "Oh well, you're just reading stuff on the internet." They want to. It's like along with the idea of conspiracy theory, it's like, oh, you use the internet for research, and so your research, you're a truther. Matrix, we're truthers.
Yeah, and I was a truther for a long time. I knew about 70. I had stopped counting, man, 9/11. And people would say, if I had a question about the official story, people would say, "You're a truther." And I just look back at them and go, well, normally that would end an argument, right? You're a conspiracy theorist, you're a truther. Oh, you listen to Alex Jones, whatever it might have been. I just said, would you rather me be a liar? I mean, is that a better thing to be? Is a liar? So you're calling me a truther and I'm supposed to be upset about that? It's the way that they twist what things mean anymore, man. So and that's where logic comes back, man.
Right, and common sense. The idea of common sense. The comedic reality in America, stuff like that. It was funny because it wasn't politically correct, and it rested on common sense. It's lost on us now because it's left leaning, so we know where they're coming from with the joke, and then it's based in this etherical reality that's sort of painted in front of you as opposed to what you actually live in your day to day life.
Yeah, exactly. And with that post we were just reading, and that was last night or way early in the morning, I think. I can't remember when that was, but oh, we're on August 27th. Yeah, so that post about like, logic, learn for yourself, learn, think for your I was telling you, I'm like, oh man, should we stop talking about Payseur? Is that to me? What does that mean? So I'm just still just blown away, man. I just can't get over it, man. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it's a perfectly normal reaction. It goes to validate for like other people out there, like that are researching and doing your stuff, and you're trying to share with other people on Twitter. That's what he's talking about right there is that same thing. We're sort of trained. We were coming through school. They told you to get with the program. What did they mean by that? They meant get with the group think. Get over here on where we all think. And this is our, we've collectively designed a web of minds that can think, research, and trust itself, and also think and cooperate and trust each other. And that is crucial. Those neuron connections is, it's almost like, we're reconnecting things. And what Matrix just said a little bit ago, to everyone that's paying attention to this, to anyone who's participated in this movement, this is going to be something that goes down in history as the literal point where America actually survived. We actually made it longer than the cabal has allowed any other country to go on. Like, we're breaking the chains from this reality, and we have to make sure that we understand that our patience is it's very important.
Yeah, it is. We got to be patient. You can't unravel the whole purchasing of our country in a day, and arresting and locking Hillary Clinton up is not going to solve it. As much as I want to see her swinging from the tree, we could play that later if you want, brother. But we need to realize that we're going to make America wealthy again, and that was said at the Ohio Trump rally. And I heard that again. I perked up. I'm like, we're on the right track. I mean, POTUS is kind of saying, "Make America wealthy again." Not the United States of America, because that's a different thing, and we've talked about that in the past two shows that we've done, Shady. So I'm just today. These posts, they talked about the Holy See up here, so we'll get there if you want. But look at all these articles. This is 1938 there, talking about Bruce Orr, UK, Australia, UK, Bruce Orr, Alexander Downer, Five Eyes, Extension 1, EX1, fake news blast, narrative shift, all that. I mean, they were trying to shift the narrative. Look at all these articles.
So I'm gonna
Look
pull.
at all of these articles.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pull up a couple of them and just so you guys can see some headlines of the articles that he's referring to. This is a Politico article from 1/4/18 saying Tony Blair claims he warned Trump of UK spying, complete fabrication. So sort of see how they're doing this. Like right now, too, in the news today, they're spinning it like, oh, China hacked the U.S. systems, but in all reality, no, China didn't hack anything. The whole servers were open. Special access programs, all that stuff was open for Iran to use, for China to use. Anyone that made a pay to the Clinton Foundation got to use this information, and that's what the America for sale means. They built this up, and then all the let's see, the next one was an independent article here. That was another one about Tony Blair. Warned Donald Trump the UK may have spied on him. Michael Wolff alleges ex-prime. This is January 2018. So this is all information and different articles and stuff that are past news that are that are relevant right now.
Yeah, this was their narrative, and then today. I mean, I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but that first they said Russia, now they're saying China. I mean, come on, guys. What's they're just scrambling right now. And we saw No Name. I almost said his name. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. We saw No Name pass away. We've seen some, shady, no offense, deaths happen. We've just got so much going on right now. There is severe panic mode. We've got some false flags. They're not winning anymore. That there's these false flags are not gaining traction because people are questioning it too much, guys.
And all these players, the CNN, the Guardian, BBC, New York Times. Underneath this, it says the Bruce Orr unlocks the UK to foreign intel, or Five Eyes. UK and foreign intel unlocks are required. Required means think highest levels. In other words, they can't get this into here without people at the highest levels, and all the people at the highest levels are under oath, have already sworn testimony that they had nothing to do with this. They don't know any of these people. There's no who's Glenn Simpson, who's who Nellie Orr. I didn't even know Nellie Orr. And then Q says this is the case with Halper, who's now proven to be a spy, and Halper is you guys who know who she is, possibly with Australian ambassador Alexander Downer, who her husband met with in London. Bruce Orr, closed door necessary. Red-handed comms revealed to encourage truthful testimony. 19 phone calls today. This was on the 27th. So this is real time. Q's telling you there were 19 phone calls today between DC, the UK, and Australia because they're panicking. Then he puts who in the kill box, all capital letters, which I'm not 100% convinced that doesn't mean World Health Organization at this point, are the firewalls. What will the fake news push tomorrow, Q? And then he responded that to Mr. Flynn's hoo-ha or hoo-ah, and that is a good sign too, man. I can't wait till we get this gentleman in the clear again.
Yeah, Flynn changing that. I think it was, what was it? Just Friday or Saturday. I know we were talking about it, and then
it was. I think it was Saturday.
Yeah, and then this post comes out. This was a direct nod to the general. And oh, by the way, the general does follow me, and we've had some conversations on Twitter. And I know there's some people in here that have had some conversations with the great general. So prayers to you, General Flynn. We hope to see you soon.
Yes, absolutely. We know the hit that you took for our country, and we appreciate it tremendously. So this next one that he dropped the other day was talking about is some, like I said, you guys go over there and check out these videos. We're not going to go through and play all the videos and stuff right now. We're kind of just coming on here to give you an update and let you know that the Payseur dig is that's where we need all our shovels. There's going to be people out there who your names are different. You're going to find stuff in your ancestry that connects back to these. Don't be ashamed or afraid or whatever. What we're trying to do is we're trying to work together and we're trying to build this map so we can understand. We're gonna once we get on a trail, you can, believe it or not, follow quote unquote their symbolism right to them most of the time, and we're not very empathetic of their privacy.
Yeah, and we've been doing some digging as well on the side. We're realizing that Petraeus is a Payseur. We're almost 100% that's confirmed. Brown from California. And I think what I want to do too is start looking at some of the resignations and take a look to see what their bloodlines look like. So, we've found so many so far, and the names are changed, but we found some really good resources that are helping us out quite a bit. So stay tuned for more of that.
And then on this one, he says, was Nazism ever truly destroyed? Was it merely a subdivision within a larger organization? So realize what he's saying there is, that whole thing, every war, every skirmish, I understand the need to feel proud that we win and proud but realize this was all a game to them. This was blood and treasure and war is a rich man's game. It's a way to steal other people's blood and treasure. It has nothing to do with patriotism to go in and destroy a nation, and our Constitution was founded on that very aspect, and we're hopefully on the right track to resolving it. But to resolve it, we do need to dig into it and understand the history. And so you're getting ready to go up through some of these posts that Q made recently. You're going to see symbolism, and you're going to see some of the pendants, and you're going to see the flags. And here he says, was it merely a subdivision, a larger organization, one finger attached to a hand? Did Antifa organically form? No. Flag design coincidence? No. Socialist pushed in the U.S. and worldwide a coincidence? No. Look at the global power structure. There is a price we will not pay, or there is a price that we will not pay. There's a point beyond which they must not advance. We the people, Q. And that specifically says they are attempting to completely subvert the system here and to completely subvert the Constitution, and they're pretending like, oh, we just want you to register your guns, and oh no, we want a border wall, but we'll never vote for it. And the illegal immigration, the people moving in across the border, this is not happenstance, man. People realize that this same cabal are the ones who's been moving immigrants around the planet, and you're going to see throughout all of this stuff coming in the future how relevant these families, these bloodlines that we've been discussing are going to be all around, including No Name, including, people like Flake and Schiff, and, you name them up there that have been preventing anyone from getting any real information.
Yeah, absolutely. I just real quick want to say, hey, JT Waterman, how you doing? Glad you're here with us tonight. And yeah, so you track those names, and all the names lead back to Germany. Well, yeah, because the king and queen of the UK are from Germany, Bohemia area. So then you've got the Queen Antoinette, Austria. So yes, they are two sides of the same coin, guys. And Shady was talking about the wars. They were wars. They were power struggle wars between the bloodlines. The wars. Q says that the wars were already won before they were fought, guys. He's been telling us all along that this is all about the bloodlines. Go ahead and continue,
Yeah,
Shady. I'm sorry,
yeah,
brother.
no, it's good, and compare it to professional wrestling. I mean, that's what it is.
Right.
That's really what it is. It's all set up. They know where they're going to move. They know what treasure that they need to steal, and they know, which families are getting too strong, who to target. I mean, very, very specific. And when Q said that these people are sick and that it's way more than you could imagine, and 90% of the people would be put in the hospital if they knew the truth. I mean, those are quotes specifically from Q, and those are quotes from 6, 7 months ago back in the winter. So, we've all been prepared for this for quite a while, and you guys out there that are on the forefront of the digs on this stuff, and he's taking us right back, Matrix. He's bringing us right back to the specific points and connecting them with what the president is tweeting, and we are literally marching forward on their lines, like we're in enemy territory now, pushing in on them in their city.
Yeah, we will win. We will win. We
We
are
will
fighting
crush them.
for. Yeah, we're fighting for our freedom, guys. Literally.
And for all of the people that are out there that are in other countries around the globe, we're fighting for all freedom. We want humanity to be freed completely. It has nothing to do with race or gender or any type of status. What we would like is for war to end and peace to come, and we can create that with the part of the whole plan of population control was to eliminate a lot of the human beings because they didn't want the cat to get out, or the jack to get out of the box in front of too many people. And right now, you talk about some nervous people. There's some very treasonous, very nervous. Well, we might not call them people, but they're walking around today and they're scared.
Yeah, they are, and you're seeing it. I mean, look at this news cycle. I saw somebody on CNN today. I don't know who it was, but it was some blonde CNN person, and it had like a senator on there, and she's like, so you're saying this about, what do you think about this and President Trump? So you're saying that our organization isn't good? We're not worthy? We don't understand? We have really good sources? I mean, and she started flipping out. So they are all more than struggling, guys. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like they're standing there saying, "Me, me, 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 me. Pay attention to me. Pay attention to me. Don't read that. Pay attention to me."
Exactly.
And then we're like, well, exactly. Everything that comes out of your mouth is complete and utter falsity. So it's hard to keep listening to you. I'm pulling up a couple of these articles as we're talking here, guys.
Yeah, and to just kind of looking at you guys of the YouTube chat. If you guys have some questions, I'm trying to keep an eye on you guys. So let me know if you have questions. I'll try to get to you as well while we're kind of going through this. But they are projecting all the crap that they are doing onto our president. And it's just amazing. Nothing short of treason. U.S. voters on the Trump Putin summit, they're just trying to spin everything the wrong way. Like Trump is in bed with Russia. Well, we know that I know. Well, my theory is that Putin gave him the information that Mueller sold him uranium one, and so did he knows who sold who uranium, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
nobody else in Russia is making deals other than Putin.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And they are, for lack of a better word, crapping their pants, man.
And this is why I think Q brought us to this post, and for I've been going through on a lot of my shows, guys. I've been going through definitions of things and specific definitions of things, and it has to do with law. Everything, all the conversation in your media is centered around social issues and not around basic fiscal economic issues and how they're subverted, and the idea of treason. Okay, define treason. Q wants us to be on the same page. He wants all of us to understand completely what treason is, because remember how many umpteen of them were accusing him of treason a week and a half ago. Even Brenner was on Bill Maher the other night. They were all having this big love fest. And treason, the offense of attempting by overt acts to overthrow the government of the state to which the offender owes allegiance, or to kill or personally injure the sovereign or the sovereign's family. The betrayal of a trust or treachery. Define treason. So there is no better definition for what the past 10 administrations have accomplished, and it is not an ounce short of complete and utter treason.
Yeah, and he gives you some examples of the narrative push, the fiction, the sample, quite a bit there. I mean, I I tweeted every one of those articles too. I think
Good.
we need to understand what the enemy is doing to us, man. And this is it right here. This is what they're doing. They're trying to control the narrative. But you know what? With Q and our president and every single one of you, we are now the news media, guys. We are in control. We're gonna take it back.
Yes, exactly. And we're going to bring this with the utmost forefront, unadulterated, unspun perspective as a neutral center, objective observer of current circumstance. That is what news is supposed to be. These people are not supposed to have opinions. The editorial, okay, but look what we saw the other night where they used the editorial. One editor at any newspaper can control the whole narrative of a newspaper. So 10 people can, pretty much have your media locked down.
And Shady, let's go back because the CFR, all Payseur companies,
Yep.
bought 25 newspapers
Yep.
to control the narrative. In fact, somebody that we know that's very loud against Q, his father was an editor for one of those Payseur papers, and that's Bill Maher Sr.
That is exactly right. So that's a part of this, is that we're over the target. We know now the Payseur is where we have to focus the bloodlines, the 13 that this completely validates the 13 minute markers from the president's post that War Drummer and Serial Brain are working on the decodes from. I mean, this validates every literal finger has been pointing us in this direction.
Yeah, here we are. Here we are, guys.
We'll pull up this graphic here. This was a graphic about the Xbox and the whole Xbox outages whenever it was revealed that we were watching their Xbox comms and they couldn't just make a little message and not send it, and then somebody else log onto their account and find it. They have all their messages, and then all of a sudden they took Xbox down. This is Google, same thing. They are I just saw a report that said 96% of the news media that Google will generate when you type in President Trump to Google is from New York Times, Washington Post, and all of their Mockingbird media, NBC, MSNBC. Nothing is pointing through to the conservative news or to positive stories. There's nothing in Google. So 96% against him on social media and 90% against him in all media on television. I mean, think about how unprecedented and lopsided it is, and you still have left people on TV thinking that it's just a conspiracy theory that we're being shadow banned. You guys out there, you know you're being shadow banned. You know that nobody's passing your stuff around, and we're not cross pollinating. And whenever someone runs into you, giving them a nice burn, all of a sudden they're reporting you and trying to have your account shut down. There's lots of Q people who are being targeted, and they're trying to shut people's accounts down.
Wait a minute, Shady. You're talking about this Xbox thing?
Yeah,
Jack Posobiec called me a doofus twice when we called him
twice.
out.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
So
right.
Jack Posobiec said this to Livid. He said, Livid said, "Hey, at Jack Posobiec and at Ginger McQueen, guess what? QAnon has the chat logs too. Interesting that what they might find here. Isn't it fun to watch you guys? Hashtag panic. Keep going. Try harder." Jack Posobiec replied to that tweet and said, "Xbox and PS don't have chat logs, as anyone who have ever actually played knows." And Q called him out the next day, man. We had people in our server that their 5-year-old kid knows that there's chat logs, and Jack Posobiec is caught right here lying at you right there, man. So I just had to give a shout out to Doofus Jack Posobiec. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, nice shout out, because and I've went back and forth with him on a couple different times.
There's that tweet. I dropped it in there for you guys too. I'll go take a look. He has deleted it since.
Just refreshed the page here, so now we're back up. Looks like there's been a couple more.
Yeah, there's been about 2 or 3 Q posts since we've been on.
He's gonna hit the record today, I promise. He's like, I've got this.
He's got what, 3 more now to break the record. We're at 36, I believe.
Also, one of the posts today, I'm going to scroll right through here, and I want you guys to take a look at some of the symbolism. Think about the Godfather 3 posts that were, in multiple Q drops, are specifically to the movie's plot theme of the corrupt Vatican. And then here, buy a history book published 20 years ago, buy a history book published 10 years ago, buy a history book published this year, compare, focus on World War I and World War II, something alarming to be discovered. And I have a sneaking suspicion that would be that names are being erased from history.
Yeah, absolutely there, man. Wow. Yeah, so if buy a history book published 10 years ago than this year, compare, focus on WW1, WW2. So we've been learning, like all these different generations, we've been learning a different version of history, and then here we are, trying to have an intelligent conversation with millennials and Gen Xers and all the different whatevers, and we've all got a false belief system and a false, everything that we know is a lie, guys. Just know that it's been crazy.
All of the facts that were presented to you were not facts, and you have a media that reinstates and reinstills what their version of events are, and it makes you hypnotically passive in understanding this stuff. And Q has told us multiple times that we're not divided. That means that if we had the real, truthful information, we don't. There is very little bit of disagreement from shore to shore in America. If this all was put out in front of everybody to see, I promise you, we would be united very, very quickly. And that is this plan. And the reason that we've had to work this way the last 9 months is, like we've said before in a couple of other our videos, Matrix, is we're the foundation for which the rest of this information will rest. We're the stewards of this information, and we are to be trusted, and we're to be patient and methodical and truthful with it.
Yeah, and Q kind of mentioned that today. If people aren't ready, it's okay. Just keep talking and asking questions. Don't get mad at people. When I first was becoming, quote unquote, awake, back in the early 2000s, you start yelling at people because it's like you get so frustrated. It's like, how can you see it? But I want to just quickly talk about this too. The symbolism will be their downfall. Do you notice that the Iron Cross is on everything? The eagle, the Iron Cross, the eagle, the Iron Eagle is on the Federal Reserve System. This is what they're talking about. And it doesn't matter if it's communism or National Socialism. Which way do you want to go? Because they don't care. They used to own both horses in the race. You
Y-
know, which way do you want to go, guys? You want to go communism? Okay, vote Democrat. You want to go national socialism? Okay, vote Republican. Those are the choices we've had, guys.
That's right. They make it seem like there is a choice, and both extremes are the same choice. So they're trying to create a tug of war, and that, I mean, when you read through the project and them attempting to do all this to our system, that was, the quotes are there. They specifically said we split them up and confuse them and inundate them with misinformation, and it will only be a matter of time before we control all the news, and we control what everyone thinks, and we control what everyone eats. And so this is hook, line, and sinker. There is us, free, sovereign, peace loving Americans, and freedom and constitutional republic versus all other systems. It doesn't matter if it's Luciferian, if it's communist, if it's socialist, all these other systems are the exact same and opposing our system.
Yes, and people are saying Iron Cross, Maltese Cross, goes from Crete to Malta. It goes everywhere. It goes way back, guys. It goes further back than what we even think it does. And that's people are saying, oh well, it's the Templar. The Templars are the Payseurs, guys.
Right.
They go all the way back to Nimrod. Do we understand this? This is what we need to get our head around. It's not China. China is the Payseurs, guys. The Lee family owns them. It's not Brussels. It's every country is owned by the same people, but that is about to stop. The strings are being cut. This is why the Iran post was very specific and particular today too. They cut the strings. Donald Trump cut the strings, and and all the different things that they're doing against Iran, and that hurt them. Peugeot, Total SA, Citroën, all these French companies, guys, had to pull out because of the embargoes and all the stuff that we've got against Iran. So he cut the strings there. They tried to move money, euros, dollars, um, uh, Swiss francs, everything. They were trying to bring actual cash there so they could make their market and move their money. They were going to pick up and move somewhere else. They were stopped, guys.
They were stopped cold in their tracks, and you're so spot on to we need to collectively get on the same page, and that means that the standing and pointing at countries, and standing and pointing at people, and standing and pointing at institutions. Stop, pull yourself back, realize you are you, and you are part of MAGA, or you're part of America, you're part of the patriot movement, and outside of that, all entities have spears pointed at you. There is nothing really out there that is for or on your side. So as soon as you point to a soldier, as opposed to pointing to the army, then you're sort of missing the target.
Yes, and I also want to point out, somebody said Macron is a pedo and all. We don't know that for a fact, but we do know that he is with the Payseurs. He's French. We are French, guys. We have a Statue of Liberty given to us by France. Why? Why did France give us a Statue of Liberty? Why do we honor that so much? Because it's a symbol of them owning us, guys. And I really want to make sure that I'm not saying that these people aren't satanic and there isn't stuff going around, but if we don't have the proof, we can't say it, guys. We got to be careful with what we say, otherwise we're going to look bad. Now, what I do is I follow Liv at AVONSALEZ, and she posts all the arrests from the pedos. There are so many guys that we're missing. We have so much going on right now with exposing these people.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
hard to say
cannot
that
wait.
word, isn't it?
Yes.
And this is the post that he was just referring to about Iran. And you guys are people who are new to Q. We have the Huma Harvard University Muslim Brotherhood alumni, and that is part of this organization that we've dug on and understand too, as you're digging, that it doesn't have to be a solo project. There's so many people that you can reach out to that have, if you're not very savvy, to say go over on the boards and to find the specific posts or specific dig on certain posts. You can ask other people in the Q movement, and word of mouth will get around, and that you can see some of this older stuff that we've been digging on this now since the end of October, and all this information is compiled, and most of us have it on our machines. It's all kind of offline. We were told to make sure it was all offline just in case they were able to do something to the grid situation or to disrupt our communications. We're told to not be uncalm if we end up in a moment where an emergency broadcast is put forward, and we're told specific instructions, and to trust that we are that we are in the right time with this, that we're working in sync with this release, and for him to make these specific drops today about Payseur and about Iran means that there's no reason that it makes me feel like Matrix we're about to the point of where comms are 1-to-1. That's kind of what I take off of it.
Yeah, we're there, guys. I mean, there was a lot divulged today. It's going to take me a day or so just to actually get my head around what was. I mean, look at the post there. Are we still on 1947 there, Shady?
Yeah, I'm right here above it.
Yeah,
I was showing the Holy See one, but yeah, I'm right above it.
yeah. Okay, the Holy See. So that one too. I mean, again, I'm like, okay, maybe it is. Look at the Holy See relations. I mean, wealth, power, sanctuary against criminal prosecution, recipe for, and I counted the dots there. Recipe for Payseur. Do you see that?
That's right. That's the right number of dots, brother.
Yes, sir. So that's when I kept getting, oh my gosh, that's almost a confirmation. Because I'm still, the last show we had, Shady, I'm like, it's only a theory until Q confirms. Well, guys, Q has confirmed it.
And also, I just wanted to put that out there. If anyone new here has joined us, we've now completed 2 segments on this dig. We really have scratched the proverbial surface. Lots and lots of people are interested in it. I've had some amazingly encouraging comments that say to continue, and we're trying to generate a thirst for you to start learning history and relearn history. And if people want to make fun of you because you want to study history, then they're kind of the idiot. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, they are. I mean, we the people, man, we are the people, guys.
And we the people are Q. And Q has been saying that the whole time. Where we go one, we go all. I mean, that's that saying's been around a while. Like they were saving it for the right time. And
Man,
this here
go
says
ahead.
the U.S. Holy See relations. The U.S. Holy See is the universal government of the Catholic Church and operates from Vatican City State, sovereign independent territory. How many times have you've seen people say and talk about? You have the Vatican that's on its own sovereign land. You have Washington D.C. that's on its own sovereign land, and you have the city of London is on its own sovereign land. The Queen of England can't even go to the city of London without a permit. So realize that these are off state, off books. It's like they are a sea. So you're at sea. You're not on land, even though you're on land. That is the way that they perceive themselves. They are untouchable. That's the way they perceive themselves. That is what the executive order that was put out on 12/21 of 2017 was about. It was about being able, if we can prove that you are committing crimes against other humans, whether it be slavery, whether it be trafficking, whether it be selling people, whether it be organ donating or moving immigrants around, whatever that is, those crimes are now punishable through this executive order worldwide, and we're going to at this point stop respecting the borders of those 3 centers and Switzerland, I hope.
And Q responded to that post that was pretty powerful as well, about the house of God. I mean, and you hear today, I saw an article, the Pope is being silent on being silent for protecting these pedophiles. I mean, again, reason why he's silent because he doesn't care, man. He's taking orders from the Payseurs and the bigger people, and he is diplomatic immunity. They've got sanctuary against criminal prosecution, but I have a feeling our POTUS and some people that we know might be able to to alter that. So stay tuned, guys. There's going to be some major things breaking, in my opinion, in regards to the Vatican. Now, I want to make it clear that I have nothing against the Catholic religion and people worshiping it, but in any institution, educational, religious, business, corruption can breed, guys. Okay, so let's just make sure that this is not any bashing about any religions.
And it's not really about that. I mean, the religion kind of goes hand in hand in a lot of areas with the way that they've brought this whole thing about. It's kind of like the Trojan horse on the Catholic Church side of things, but it's not relative to people who are of faith or who worship. That's not who this is directed at. This is directed at the people behind the scenes, the people that stand behind the curtain that you, as a parishioner or a believer, don't see go on.
Yeah.
And then here, this is the post. This is 1954, and I'm glad you reminded me of this one, Matrix, because this is a really good one to read onto the record right now. And this goes to everyone out there, especially if you're new to this. This information is, like you become a sponge. You start to take in the information. You want to share it with everybody you know. You have to be careful. You have to get your facts in a row, and you have to understand that the things that you say are going to be challenged. Realize that whatever you say to someone who is believing the quote unquote narrative, they're going to challenge you. And the way to respond is not to punch back with information. The way to respond is to ask open-ended questions about what it is you don't understand about the narrative they're telling you, specifics, and you can easily shift them into a moment of questioning that, and it'll bridge the gap a little bit between that cognitive dissonance. And this post here, 1954, do not force those not yet ready. He's talking to you specifically, anyone out there who the fake news narrative make believe has been ingrained for a long time. Realize we do not hold anyone who thinks the way the mainstream media makes them think accountable to the way they're thinking. What we're trying to do is to show them another way, but it's not about destroying the way that they think. It's about using the way that they think and making them think a little bit more, not stopping them from believing you or isolating yourself. And here he says, do not isolate yourself within your own family. Dark to light, truth will shine no matter what. So there he's saying this is going to come out. We're going to see this like on the billboards. So just be patient. Drop crumbs. Think about the crumbs that Q dropped us to get us leading in. He dropped crumbs, and then we were all like, oh, I don't know about this whole thing. And then all of a sudden he dropped more crumbs. We're like, woo. And so once we couldn't disprove the crumbs, we became consumers of the research, and then we became the providers of the research. Here he says, truth will shine, impossible to defend, impossible to ignore, stay strong, you're not alone, patriots all Q. There's a powerful, powerful drop to come in the middle of the day today, Matrix.
Yeah, and that one actually, hits home too because I can identify with that. And the somebody was in chat here said something very good. And if we have a theory or a question, ask the question as a question. If we think somebody is whatever we think he is, ask the question. Don't state it as fact until we actually have fact. Now, that's the Socratic method. Q has been
Yes.
using that with us, and that is a very good way to start dropping little crumbs. You don't even need to say Q to these
Nope.
people. You can just ask them questions, challenge their own belief system because we've been programmed to think a certain way, through education, through the TV, through the media, through everything that's being bombarded at us. We are the calm before, during, and after the storm. We have all been chosen for a reason, guys.
That's why, and that's why this information came out like this. It was to show that you have the strength and you have the power of all of your other patriots behind you, and you can literally, with a couple of words and a couple of nice little organized questions, really make an impact on someone understanding as opposed to someone using you as a reason to not pay attention to someone else that they may encounter in the future. You crack it open a little bit and say, oh well, Well, that's yeah, I get it. Maybe they are just going after Trump. But did you know that Nellie Orr was got a ham radio license so she could communicate? I mean, it's like these are real things that are not in the news very much yet. And most people, I mean, these articles that we were just showing here are going into that and saying, look how they're painting us as ridiculous. They're painting us as ridiculous because Google is censoring their searches or Twitter is shadow banning you. You're painted as ridiculous in the mainstream media. That narrative is what that's all they have left to call you a conspiracy theorist and to push you aside. So within that, the people that you encounter are very open to understanding new things if they're approached the right way, but you can literally turn someone off really quick if you're too pushy or if you're over the top or if you let your emotion kind of get out in front of the facts.
Yeah, it's just like why I kind of chose in the Matrix. That part where it goes, what you can't explain, but you feel it. You've felt it your entire life that there's something wrong with the world, but you just don't know what it is. That I think affects a lot of people. We just have to kind of find out what people, are how they are, wired, right? If it's immigration, is it the politics, is it the money system, is it child trafficking? We got to find out a commonality because there are so many crimes out there. We can find some. I'm able to talk to Democrats, whatever you want to label yourself, Democrat, Republican, the labels, and what we've got to realize is that when we label ourselves like that, groups are easier to control than individuals. Thomas Jefferson said a democracy is when 51% of the people can take away the rights of 49, the individual rights of 49% of the people. So we need to get our republic back. We need America to be wealthy again. It's not rocket science, folks. We need people that make TVs selling stuff to people that make dishwashers, and those dishwasher people are buying stuff that people are making computers here in our country on our soil. People want to be proud. People want to do a good job. People want to love their country again. We just need to bring it back. And this president is doing that. He is doing that. And if he doesn't, I'm going to call him out. But wow, amazing progress, Shady. I mean, I just am blown away.
Man, well, I'm absolutely blown away too. I mean, this is like for instance, this is showing you right here. This just notice this was today, and this was a repost from February 22nd, 2018, that was dropped on that day. Clowns revealed in China and other 2010 187 sold Intel. HRC's open source server for the missing emails for CrowdStrike granted access. Betrayed. Only the tip. This will be made public soon. Then underneath that, Q responds to that specific post. Trending. Non-mainstream media that China hacked the Hillary Rodham Clinton server. False. Access was granted. You have more than you know. And just to tell you the we're at, you see here we're at 1960 some Q posts. These are all drops. The people, the naysayers out there that say, "Oh, Q isn't real," or "Q this," or "Q that," they stopped paying attention a long time ago, and we really hope that they're not people that are specifically being put there to run against us, that they just don't understand. But at this point, we're ignoring them and realizing that our purpose here is to be the foundation upon which we will rest the people who believe in Q, and we will also rest the people who do not. Understand and remember that less than 5% of the people here in America stood up and fought for our freedom that we have today. And right now, Anons, you guys out there on the chans that have been helping with this stuff, and the chans have been turning you away, or that you've been discouraged with it, or whatever's going on, or you're convinced that Unity Rock is right or anti-school. That's fine. We have no contention with you. We understand that is what Q was saying down here. That's you thinking for yourself. You're listening to someone that might not be telling you the right thing, but you're sticking to your guns. And for whatever reason, we respect the ability for all Americans to think and feel the way that they choose. But we also would like for you to leave yourself open to new information. And I think that's a big part of this whole Q movement and the bringing together of us as a community.
Yeah, Shady, this is challenging everybody's belief system, man, to the core.
Right.
And this is something hard to face. And the truth is not for everyone. Some people were going to retreat into their dark places, right? But they'll be back because the truth is going to be the light. There's going to be no way to deny it anymore. And that's why we need to be here, guys, for those people, our family, our friends, the people in our communities. There's going to be people that are really hurt. And I can take it from a lower level, like, I voted for George Bush, and then all of a sudden he's a criminal, and I had to realize that I voted for him, man. You see what I'm saying? Like that was crushing, so just imagine that people's belief systems of what they were taught in school, uh, everything is a lie, guys. I still can't get over that, man. And but we live in this system today, and we got to keep going. So keep fighting, keep voting, keep going to work, taking care of your family. Just know that you can go to work head up high and know that we are going to get this country wealthy again. Our president has said it. Make America wealthy again, which means that we are going to be in for some good times. Not saying that it's not going to hurt first, but we're gonna right this country for our kids, their kids, and their kids' kids.
Well said. Absolutely. And that is absolutely where we're headed with this, everyone. This is our experiment. America is our project, and it is not perfect, but it is freedom that has never really been unleashed and mankind allowed to exist in. That we're talking about a world that, in my attempts to imagine it, it's very hard to understand a world where your limits aren't restricted to your overlords, right? So even here in this post, the Q makes this exact point from someone who says, "I am isolated with my husband, and thank God our dogs to our family. We can't even mention the president's name, so we don't, but it hurts so much. We will stay strong. We will try not to become bitter and angry. We are prepared to help and to answer when the time comes. I know they need us more than ever, especially my oldest because she studied so hard to get her job in your country. In CV, I know for sure that she's not a liberal, brainwashed person. My other baby is an autist, and she asked me questions over the news coverage and why they are all telling the same thing. Please, Q, I must say this: you, the team, and POTUS are so very loved by us. God bless you from the Netherlands." And Q says, "You are not a lone patriot. You are part of history. Never in our history has this been attempted. God bless you and your family. Stay strong, stay the course. Where we go one, we go all." And that is the message. That is so clear that you have a very hard time, if you calm yourself, disassociating yourself with that message, and a very hard time to not believe in that message, because you guys out there have seen exactly what you've been able to accomplish, and a lot of us are accomplishing it, Matrix, with people that we have never seen, people that we literally have never shaken their hands, people that we haven't ever looked eye to eye, but we see eye to eye. Haven't we, how have we used this platform to talk to one another, and how we use this platform to feel one another and to feel genuineness again without the sight, without having to have these complicated relationships that you have with different people who let you down here or fall short there. And we found a group of people who hold each other up and web each other together and don't let one fall away from the other and stay with them even though maybe they stray too far. And that is fine. This is not going to be for everyone to know. And we're on here tonight. We're very specific about the Payseur dig, and Q dropping us that drop. I want to just kind of mention that again. There's a ton of stuff here that we didn't get to, and we're going to kind of that's about all the time I think that we have to keep Matrix tonight. And then I've got some other stuff going on, but we wanted to put this out to all of you
Yeah.
loving patriots out there to say thank you so much for
Yeah.
the contributions that you've made, and thank you to all you guys for all the love and support that you give both of us on our on the Twitter and on YouTube.
Yeah, Shady. And let me tell all the anons out here, and what we were talking about with being patient and all that stuff. And I want to go to Q1432. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 13.
See, that's who we are. For anyone who wants to attack us, anyone who wants to say things about what we're doing, we're researching. You tell people you're researching, and that's it. And if they don't want to hear it, you let it go. And you'll find there was going to be somewhere around 280 million, if not more, Americans are going to need to be red pilled in the next 6 months. This is going to take a second, and it will make it to the news. Q is specifically saying this is being led. We're building this up, and we're going to put it right in front. No one's going to be able to deny it. It's not going to stay hidden forever. So maybe quell your anxiety, quell your anxiousness to get the word out specifically among people, but do not hesitate to go on social media and give them hell, any of them out there that are being redundant or that are stepping out of line. It's not a problem. I don't care how irritated Stranahan and Posobiec get. We're gonna still keep giving them some Q memes right underneath their commentary, and we drive them crazy. If they want to be driven crazy by it, then obviously we're hitting a nerve, right? I mean,
The nerve is hit, man. It's like an open tooth that needs to be extracted.
good point. This was a little bit of a special edition, kind of a put together real quick. Matrix, thanks for coming on and getting us into this. We're gonna do the regulars. I'll be on Friday night. I'll go back through some of these things and maybe go over them a little bit more in depth. But we really wanted to just put it out there to all our great patriots who have helped us, and a shout out to Luca and all the people who are with the Patriots United Discord. This is our family. We've been digging on this stuff for quite a long time. We've broken through Matrix now. The boards can't ignore you anymore, and
Yeah.
we're gonna continue to hammer them.
Yeah, show that post one more time because Stacy Regos is saying, I think you have something. Well, Stacy, Q confirmed it. So I think we have it. Where's that post? Go to that post, Shady. Throw it up there.
This one right here, the one about Payseur, right?
Yes.
Yep, here it is, 1969 for someone that might want to go look.
Repeat. Stacy. Love you. And Q confirmed it. Guys, Shady, thank you for having me again. I think this is part of your plan of getting me here all the time. I don't know, but thanks, brother.
Yeah, man, I'm working on it, but we can. It's just been a pleasure to work with you. It's been a pleasure for Liv and everyone who's participated in this, and we're really starting to see some momentum now. And we really want to thank the president, and we want to thank Q, and we want to thank all the Q researchers and all the autists and the diggers and the just millions and millions of beautiful, patriotic, freedom loving Americans.
Amen.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to maybe cut it off there. I'm going to hang out just for a second, and we are going to watch this video from the president because it has been posted multiple times about Q, and we need to keep reminding ourselves what the president said to us on October 24th before he won the election, and pay specific attention to how he speaks through this message. This is very important, and Q wants us to pass this around and share it with people who are, a little bit on the anti-Trump side. Thanks again, Matrix, for coming on, and we're gonna be gathering soon. I got a feeling that this Q thing isn't going away in the near future, brother.
We'll be here.
All right, guys. You guys take care out there.
Great job, Shady. Thank you.
Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt political establishment with a new government controlled by you, the American people. The Washington establishment and the financial and media corporations that fund it exist for only one reason: to protect and enrich itself. The establishment has trillions of dollars at stake in this election. For those who control the levers of power in Washington and for the global special interest, they partner with these people that don't have your good in mind. Our campaign represents a true existential threat like they haven't seen before. This is not simply another four-year election. This is a crossroads in the history of our civilization that will determine whether or not we, the people, reclaim control over our government. The political establishment that is trying to stop us is the same group responsible for our disastrous trade deals, massive illegal immigration, and economic and foreign policies that have bled our country dry. The political establishment has brought about the destruction of our factories and our jobs as they flee to Mexico, China, and other countries all around the world. It's a global power structure that is responsible for the economic decisions that have robbed our working class, stripped our country of its wealth, and put that money into the pockets of a handful of large corporations and political entities. This is a struggle for the survival of our nation, and this will be our last chance to save it. This election will determine whether we're a free nation or whether we have only the illusion of democracy, but are in fact controlled by a small handful of global special interests rigging the system, and our system is rigged. This is reality. You know it, they know it, I know it, and pretty much the whole world knows it. The Clinton machine is at the center of this power structure. We've seen this firsthand in the WikiLeaks documents, in which Hillary Clinton meets in secret with international banks to plot the destruction of U.S. sovereignty in order to enrich these global financial powers, her special interest friends, and her donors. Honestly, she should be locked up. The most powerful weapon deployed by the Clintons is the corporate media, the press. Let's be clear on one thing. The corporate media in our country is no longer involved in journalism. They're a political special interest, no different than any lobbyist or other financial entity with a total political agenda, and the agenda is not for you, it's for themselves. Anyone who challenges their control is deemed a sexist, a racist, a xenophobe. They will lie, and then again, they will do worse than that. They will do whatever is necessary. The Clintons are criminals, remember that. This is well documented, and the establishment that protects them has engaged in a massive cover-up of widespread criminal activity at the State Department and the Clinton Foundation in order to keep the Clintons in power. They knew they would throw every lie they could at me and my family and my loved ones. They knew they would stop at nothing to try to stop me. Nevertheless, I take all of these slings and arrows gladly for you. I take them for our movement so that we can have our country back. I knew this day would arrive. It's only a question of when. And I knew the American people would rise above it and vote for the future they deserve. The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us. The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. Our great civilization has come upon a moment of reckoning. I didn't need to do this, folks, believe me. I built a great company, and I had a wonderful life. I could have enjoyed the fruits and benefit of years of successful business deals and businesses for myself and my family, instead of going through this absolute horror show of lies, deceptions, malicious attacks. Who would have thought? I'm doing it because this country has given me so much, and I feel so strongly that it's my turn to give back to the country that I love. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.
Hope you believe him. Thanks everybody for coming out and joining me on a special edition of the Q Lounge Live. We couldn't resist coming on and talking to you for a few minutes. Make sure you give out plenty of love for In the Matrix. Make sure you go out there and get on the Twitter machine and start telling them about it. Let them know. Let them all know that you know. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Remember that we are at a war for between the truth and a lie, and the lie is that the global elite are in charge of you. We are the elite. Remember that. Everyone, please have a very good evening, and we will see you again on Friday night. Thank you so much for joining us.